episode of Matters Arising with Ella Speaks. To the new subscribers, you're welcome. Thanks for joining the family. You won't regret it. I'm sure you'll be wondering what is Matters Arising all about. Well, Matters Arising is mainly about matters arising, any matter whatsoever. Here on the show, we discuss on sensitive matters, educative matters, and funny matters at times. But so today, before we move into today, let me first appreciate our old subscribers. Thanks for still coming back. Thanks for coming through. We appreciate. I'm sure you've seen this face before in one or two videos on the show before. Yeah, she's back. She will reintroduce herself to you again.
I'm Vanessa Isitwa.
Okay, so Vanessa is back on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm really grateful. Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Okay, so on today's episode, we want to discuss a matter that is arising. Yes, last night on the news, watched how we did this last night. It's not today we uploaded. What was yesterday's date? Yesterday was 14, December 14. Hey, so what that's what caused. Okay, I'm with phone. Okay, December 15 though. So December 15, evening night period, on the news they talked about stopping child marriages. You know, in some cultures, which I won't mention, but we all know, in some cultures they legalize child marriage. So on the news, those small children held placards: "We are children, not your bride. We are still young." So like we just want to reach out to the public out there. Like we need this thing to stop because it has many disadvantages. Just imagine an 8-year-old giving, and the funniest thing is that they won't give these small children to a young guy. They will marry them to, yes, someone that is even old enough to be their father, in fact grandfather. Just imagine an elderly person. You want to marry her, you don't marry her now. You just imagine an elderly person having sex with a small girl. It's just like putting fat stick inside a small biro cover.
It's that bad.
Like,
and the child will have to live with that scar, that pain, that
exactly
causing trauma for the child.
It's true now.
It's
Just no, oh God, I can't even imagine it. Just imagine a big stick entering a small biro cover. It's even little tear, and most times some of them will even get pregnant. Just imagine a 13-year-old girl giving birth herself.
and most of them even have these birth issues, not able to for not being able to carry those children.
Yes, because
they are still very
weak.
very young.
They're still very
So
very
it's
young.
that bad. It's that bad, and we really need to do something.
Like it's something that is of great concern, because apart from that self, these girls, because they are still young, they don't even know anything about marriage. They don't know anything about going into husband house, and most of them self, did you know they actually go through rape in the marriage?
Yes.
You know there is marital rape. Because
Definitely.
these children are not interested. They don't want to have the sex, but the husband will be like,
And the one who is old enough to be their father will be like, I've married you, I've paid your bride price.
really?
And it's
Good.
that bad. It's like living in hell on earth. It's that bad. Really, really bad.
And we all know that a child that is below 18, that child cannot even give consent, because that child is still a child. So you cannot say the child said, "Hey, I want to marry him." No, see, according to 18 years old upward, you're an adult. You can give consent. Okay, I want to do this. I want to do this. But what does an 8-year-old child knows? What does a 13-year-old? You say, "Oh, she said she wants it. She said she wants it." That's a very big fat lie. A child is still a child. The child cannot what's it called? Cannot give consent about this and this and this. So I don't know. I'm not sure. When I say my house on this, because I can be talking to
No, not really.
I don't allow our guests to talk.
You've really said a lot, and this is something that's really affecting our society and Nigeria, and it really really pains me because we've gone far we've gone far talking about civilization, technology, and everything. We are supposed to be more enlightened when it comes to things like that. And what is really, really disturbing us in Africa is this culture. Is this cultural beliefs where a female child does not have a will of her own, does not have a choice of her own, and everything. So most of them feel, okay, this we females, like, we are inferior, so we don't really have much to say. Okay, the mother can just come and say, no, I don't want to give my child out. But we find out that most mothers are actually speaking up. But because of the hair they have at home, are you the one to tell me what to do? This is our culture. I married you at this certain age, so you can't tell me. You understand that kind of stuff. So most of these women, it's not as if most of them want this to happen, but they have no choice. So one way or the other, their children get into it. So they feel, most of these men, when they give birth to like these female children, they feel their liability. So the best thing, instead of sending them to school, let me just marry her off. You understand? To save us the stress. And even this man in question be bringing stuff, and we have to like go past. This is really, really bad. Everybody has a dream to fulfill. You understand? There are so many gaps in life that these children giving out to early marriage needs to fill later in life. So it's really, really bad. It's really, really bad. If you really find out now in our society today that it's more of the women that are making it.
Yes.
More of the women. If you look at most men, like I was telling my grandma, like I said, gone are the days where your father-in-law, your husband family will come and meet you and say, or your husband will say, I want a guy. And I said, how many of your male children takes care of you up to the way your female children are taking care of you?
Yes.
Because those male children, once they get married, like, their attention is
on their new family.
So the least they can do to you, or the most to them, is just to give you food.
Send money.
You understand? But the female children are really the ones doing so many things in the society. They are the one holding this word and this.
Talking about those women also speaking out, but the husbands, the fathers be like, okay, I'm the head of the house, and this is another one serious thing, the one serious issue that is affecting us here in Africa, because they've silenced the women's voices. They feel, I am the head of the house, I am the only one that can take decision, so you don't have. But even with the way this world is evolving now, you know, we're now entering new era. Some men are still like that, you know that, because we all know that women too, we also have it. We give birth. Now the both of us give birth to this child too.
Yeah.
Fine, we know you are the head of the house. Hello, I also carried this person we're talking about in my home for 9 months. Okay, yeah, you are the one that put it inside. But at least we both own this child, so we should sit together, take a decision on the matter. Okay, this child should do this. What do you think? Those some men, once they are talking, like, let's say there's a family meeting.
Yeah.
As a woman, you dare not give ideas.
I've seen families like that.
Like, it's so unbecoming, because fine, we know it happened then in those days, so when our great grandparents, like, their wives will be shaking like this to talk to them. But now the world is evolving, so why are we still living in the past? And that is what, if you notice, it's just in these parts of the world that it is happening. It can't happen among the whites. It's not even possible.
No.
It's not even. In fact, I even feel it's those women that even have the most say over their children over there, because
the husbands don't really interfere.
Yes.
You talk to your mom.
But yeah, I am the man. I am the man.
Listen to me.
Even those that are not even taking care of their family, I am the man. Like, it's not really nice. It's really not nice, because those kids now, you've snatched away their childhood from them. Because as a small girl,
that youthful age where you're vibrant and you
exactly,
just explore, it's just taken away.
Now that just have old man house. You just snatched it from her. Because they did that in those days doesn't mean we should still keep doing it now. Yes. I even heard of it. This one I even know him very, very well. It was like, why should he send? I even try say, at least send his daughter to secondary school. Do you know what Nana said? When the girl said she wants to write JAMB, said why? Why should I send you to university? It does not make sense. It's not like I'm wasting my resources on you, because you will still end up in one man's house. So why should I send you to school? Like, in this era,
and you just be looking at
in this century, like, this man is still talking, and it's not to know of women that are making waves in the society. I don't understand. What do you mean she will fine? She will marry, but doesn't mean is that husband house she will be, or at least that she will still be. Are you praying for your own daughter not to make waves?
The funniest part of it is that in this our generation, no man even wants a liability.
Exactly.
You must do something.
You must do something.
So many young guys are running away. If they see you don't have anything to offer them and they see one or more, they are going to do
Yes,
it.
now at least
So
if the
every
man is
young
dropping
girl-
60, you can drop 40.
Nobody wants somebody
liability.
who is going to support them.
Yes.
A supportive person, not somebody who is going to be like.
That's what these
Eating
men are not
So they
understanding.
don't really understand.
That's what they're not understanding. So, see, early child marriage and girl education, it's really, 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 really a how should I put it? A disturbing case here in this part of the world. Because you're saying that, do you know, I heard of I heard of a funny story. One lady was like, there's a part of there's some people that once they give birth, once the child, the wife give birth to a female as the first child, they will marry another wife for the man.
It happens.
Because the girl child is not supposed to be the first child. Like
It has to
really,
be male child.
like really.
And that's where you're going to hail the husband like, you
You
try.
try, you do what you're a man. So giving birth to a girl child means what? I have a someone is an adult. He has 3 girls. So when I was interviewing him and he said he has 3 girls, I was like, oh wow, oh you don't have a son. Do you know? It was like, what's that supposed to mean? Those 3 girls I mentioned are they not children? So what do you mean you don't have? I said, no, I'm just talking because some men once it's only girl child they have, they do think about it. They do. He said no, that he's happy with his girls. That his girls are even doing very very well. He said his first and the courses they all studied in school. Our courses guys can study. One studied engineering, and that one came out with a second class upper. One studied medicine, and the other one, okay, I guess the other one I studied accounting. And he said they are all doing well and making him proud. It wasn't like, what if he had given birth to a male child and that one now became a vagabond in the society? What will he do? He said at least his own girl child, since he couldn't give birth to a male child, doesn't mean he should hate his girl child. Doesn't mean you should not abandon them or you should not abandon the wife because the wife did not give birth. And that's one mistake those men do make. It's not the wife that is changing the gender to a lady. Yeah, it's what you put. It's what you put. The wife will bring her. You're the one putting it there.
They don't ever blame it on themselves.
Like those men, they're just so funny. They're just so funny. Sometimes like, she just give birth to girl. Hello,
they don't like say, okay, it's our fault. It doesn't even come out. Like talk more of it is my fault. Like they don't do that. They just like it is you.
It is you.
I've
You're
done
the
my
one
part.
giving me girls. That's when the mother-in-law will now bring another wife home. You are not giving it. Oh no. Let us change our mentality now. See, the world is evolving. Let us also evolve with the world.
We have to.
Don't let us stick to that past mentality.
If we stay back, we are bound to fail.
Yes.
We are bound to fail.
I love that.
If
Right,
we stay back, so we have to like go along with the way the world is changing. We have to change with it. Religion and everything, all this have to stop. And I think everybody have a huge role to play. We are playing a role here. Our pastors in churches, like they have a role to play. They really have a huge role to play. Talk to your congregation. These things are bad. Tell them about these things scientifically. If you don't get a male child, even if you want to get a male child, know you how to do it. And even if it's a female child, know that there is nothing wrong with it. Talk to them. Speak the truth to them. You understand? So everybody have a huge role to play. We going around and tell people, okay, this is not right. You have your uncle that is doing this. Why don't you speak? Your voice is something. You understand? No matter how somebody talks to you and just blah blah blah, and you ignore, even if it's just one word, the thing is just going to keep re-echoing in the person's head. Like, okay, this person said this. At least you've done your part. So everybody has a huge role to play. Our government too, we have a huge role to play. So we have to put a law in order. Like put it, okay, if you break this law, if any child gets married under the age of 19, the parents are going to be sued. And that man in question, you are going to jail. Exactly. It's that simple. It's going to put fear into these people's mind and stop.
Okay guys, okay people, I'm sure you've heard what Vanessa has said. She has called out our pastors. Those that are attending church, please talk to your congregation. Tell them about these realities of life.
I was talking about we
Yeah,
before.
me too.
You and I, we need to encourage these ones. We don't need to talk bad of them. We don't need to make them feel isolated. Let's encourage them. Let's make them feel like we are one. Despite this thing has happened, it's not the end of the world.
Don't shame them.
Don't do that. Many of us, we do criticize each other. We do point fingers. No one is perfect.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be in that situation he or she is in. Just due to one situation or the other, one condition, they have to be like. So we let us encourage them. We have a huge role to play. Our pastors, our government, you and I. Thank you.
So we've all heard of Vanessa said. You have a big role to play. So, like I said, I've said it in one of my episodes before. Like, if you keep waiting for the government to do something, nothing will happen. At least let the change start from us.
Yeah.
When even those at the top, when the government see that these people, like the change that is starting them to I don't know, if them to they will think about it. When we keep waiting, no, the government should do this, the government should do this, the government should do that.
Why the government is even speaking up is because of all this new NGO
yes,
organization. Definitely is going to be heard. It's a voice and it must be heard and it's definitely going to be heard.
At least if like 90% of everyone in Nigeria voice out about, there's no how you won't get that change. You will get the change. Let us see, because of it is not happening in your culture, it's not happening in your family, it's not happening in where you live, doesn't mean you shouldn't do anything about it. Hello, it's not happening to me, so why should I care? Those ones too are humans like you, so you should definitely care, because why? They are also humans like you, and fight for them. Just imagine those girls are your siblings, and your sisters, and your daughters. How do you think they will feel? Just put yourself in their position. The childhood you enjoyed is being snatched from them. Like, so because it's not happening to you, and I'm sure that what is actually happening to us here in Nigeria, it's not happening to me, so it's not of my concern. So it shouldn't be like that. We should be one. We are one. Divided we fall, united we stand. So let us come together and unite. Don't think it's not happening in my culture doesn't mean I should not speak up. It's not happening in your culture, but it's happening in other cultures. Let us fight for those children. Those children are still small. They can't even fight for themselves. But they need people like us to speak out and fight for them. So, like we've said, like the two both of us said, before we sign out, the change starts from you. So if you know you enjoyed this video, which I know you enjoyed. I know you enjoyed the video, and those that are angry with us because of what he said, we are sorry, and we are not also sorry, because we are also voicing out. This is our own means of voicing out. You to join us today and voice out. Please give this video a like, comment your opinions, maybe suggestions or what have you, and most importantly, subscribe.
Really subscribe.
I'm not doing shakara. Subscribe. So with these few points of ours, we hope we've been able to convince you and not to confuse you that child marriage is not good. We need to stop it, and we should also encourage girl education.
Yes.